Alright, welcome back. Time to continue with the air battles. Now, the second phase of the closed beta test has officially ended, and there will be a third phase where we will probably be able to fly jet aircraft, and I believe that's going to be very interesting. Now, the test concluded, so I was mostly happy with it. My only complaint was that some of the aircraft that we had wasn't really flying properly. This is one such aircraft. Now, this plane here is technically a bomber and a fighter, has bombs, has rockets as well, and of course has machine guns, 20mm machine guns on both wings. The issue that I've had with this particular plane was once it loses momentum, once it loses speed, it cannot climb and it cannot gain altitude, as well as it cannot be, for some reason it can break 200 km/h. It for some reason was very slow, and as I played this for a couple days, I definitely see that this was kind of improved. It's no longer as weird as it used to be, so that's a good thing. It's still very slow, if you ask me. This is one of the planes that definitely needs to get a speed boost. The overall maneuverability and the way it turns, it's acceptable, but for some reason it is still wobbly, way too wobbly if we compare this aircraft to the other two fighters that we have. Well, technically one of them is an interceptor, which is maneuverable, and then we have the P-51. I actually got used to P-51. It's a very decent little fighter plane, but I did enjoy this one as well. Of course, I already mentioned the things that are not really working well on this thing, but I believe that's going to be addressed and that's going to be fixed. I was very surprised when this thing wasn't able to break 200 km/h. It is very noticeable when you land and when you try to take off. You weren't able to go above 200 km/h, which means that you were not able to climb. And if you attempt to climb, even if you go with a small inclination, just a small little angle, this plane would significantly lose speed and it would stall. So yeah, landing with this thing was kind of very weird, especially when you have to take off later. While now it's still slow, I feel like it gained 60-70 km/h in the couple days of the test being launched. Definitely a little bit faster, but it is still too slow if you ask me. You can still stall this very easily, and against a interceptor you don't have much chance if you don't have enough speed. It is very maneuverable though, especially when it gets up to momentum. When it's going 300 km/h, this thing can actually turn really well, and I really do like the way that this particular plane can turn. But of course, the good thing is you also have rockets and you do have bombs. Bombing the ground targets does give you some very decent points. If you like to shoot down ground targets, then you can easily do that with this thing. You can also go after the bases, which are kind of the objective that you can go to. But I usually prefer air-to-air combat when I fly these planes. If I want to shoot ground targets, I go with a bomber. And I would say bomber gameplay is definitely a lot more relaxing, less... It is definitely less... less stressful than flying the fighter planes. Primarily because your objective is to destroy the ground targets and you don't have to worry about anything else. Well, technically you have to worry about enemy fighters that can creep up on you, but you know, it is still nonetheless a very relaxing experience indeed. Well, time to fly the P-51, I guess. Now the P-51 has very good speed. Its maneuverability isn't really comparable to the La-5 or the previous one, but it gets the job done. And it definitely is not a not a bad aircraft. I also love how that thing took like 700 shells and it's still flying even though it got torn to shreds and someone else got the kill. Isn't that just convenient? The flaps on this plane are decent. This is more of a... not exactly a turn fighter. It can do that, but it is more of a plane that intercepts. You basically approach, shoot, and take range. You don't engage in turn fights that often. It can do that, but actually that was a pretty good turn. I might take that back very quickly here. This thing did turn very quickly. One of the faster planes that you had in this test, that's for sure. And it has very good armament, very good machine guns. I also love how my bullets do absolutely no damage, even though... oh well, okay, yeah. Was enough damage since the enemy crashed. Anyway, let's keep on flying a little bit more. Well, this does look like a victory, okay. I didn't really touch my controls that much, mostly reducing the sensitivity, and I think the sensitivity might be okay. It's the aircraft itself that kind of needs to be changed a little bit. That was definitely a hit in the cockpit, not really sure how they're still flying. But yeah, the P-51 is definitely one of the faster ones that we had in this test. And this does feel different from the start of the test. I feel like they definitely did do something with recent updates when it comes to the aircraft maneuverability. This plane does seem to be working better than it used to be. Also, how my bullets did no damage again, even though that should be a direct hit. Okay then, well I guess I'm doing no damage. That's kind of funny. I'm fairly sure I hit both of them. If they crash, maybe they will crash. That would be funny if they do. But yeah, this plane definitely is quite enjoyable, I would say. No, the La-5 is probably my favorite. Doesn't have a lot of machine guns or autocannons, but it is very maneuverable. It is very small. It should be an interceptor, and it has a 20mm autocannon. Okay, that's one kill. It is very maneuverable. That's one thing I have to say. Very maneuverable, very speedy. very fast. And definitely one of the better aircraft when it comes to turn fights. There we go. That's one more kill. I think I had like most success with this thing. Of course I get rammed. No denying there. I wonder if we get like a hybrid game mode where you can fly planes, planes in ship battles and tank in plane battles. That would be very fun. A 20 versus 20. That would be a fantastic. That would definitely be quite a fantastic thing to do. Would be pretty good, would be pretty interesting. Okay, let's go to the next match. No, these are my settings that I currently have. We'll be reducing them a little bit here. Just why not? And that's basically what I have been using so far on the air battles. I usually start with this. Usually start with La 5 or I start with this thing. Depends really on what I'm doing. But primarily I am flying this particular plane just because of the way it's started. I mean, this is I think the only aircraft in the second test in phase 2 that felt very odd when it comes to controls. Definitely the most odd control wise, and it just turns so easily. It definitely turns very easily, just that its speed is not good at all. And when I say its speed is not good at all, I mean acceleration and the way it quickly loses speed when you try to even climb a little bit. Well, as I mentioned before, that's been kind of solved, well, not solved entirely, but it's now much better than it used to be. Definitely much better than it used to be, but there is still a lot of room for improvement. It also has an air brake, and I don't have the air brake engaged, by the way. You cannot have the air brake once you use the flap option. It's not going to let you, so I definitely don't have the air brake enabled. That would be pretty funny though, if I had the air brake. Would explain a lot of things actually. I could have had a double kill there, but I'll engage in the turn battle. Okay, someone else got the kill. Fair enough. And I'm already losing speed significantly. Yeah, 80 km/h, that's stalling speed right there. This is the worst thing about this aircraft, is that you cannot really... Oh, okay, 200 km/h, definitely gaining speed much faster than it used to. It's still not nearly enough though, that's for sure. It's still very slow compared to the P-51 or the La 5. I mean, the La 5 is technically an interceptor, so not really, you know, fair to compare its maneuverability and speed to this thing. But where is my aim? There we go, that's the P-51. A rare occasion. I actually need to start aiming a lot more. I noticed I'm doing a lot more precise hits when I'm aiming. I need to start aiming a lot more. I'm not quite sure why I don't aim. That's one thing that I kind of... I think aiming while flying is definitely a bit weird, but that's one thing I have to start doing. Okay, it's one more kill. Well, ironically or unironically, doing pretty well so far with this thing. Maybe I just got used to it, I don't know, it feels very weird. it definitely feels more maneuverable and faster than it used to on the start of the test, so I guess that's perhaps the reason why I'm actually able to fly this thing much better now. 309 km per hour. Okay, I actually did manage to get some good speed. Well, not too good, but better than 200 km per hour, that's for sure. And it seems that I'm actually able to climb a little bit. Not the climbing speed that I would say would be appropriate for this thing, but it's okay, it's acceptable. Still lose speed though. You can see the speed significantly going down when I start climb even a little bit. But when I go in a straight line, it does accelerate. This thing needs more horsepower, that's for sure. Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, stalling, critical speed. Okay, well, let me do a little turn. Let's and go. I don't like how it's wobbly. You can see the tail just wobbling around. Even that's not what I'm doing with the aircraft. So that's kind of funny. 320, 330 km per hour. Okay, okay. It gained a 50% speed boost. Okay, not bad. Needs more horsepower though, that's for sure. Also, how everything is so far away. I think the enemy team is all bombers now, which is kind of funny. That should have been a kill, but it wasn't. Oh, that was... I think I did some damage on it. Should have hit the tail, I think. Which means... Nope, they're still maneuverable. Lovely. And there's a friendly plane zooming around. Yeah, this is not responding to commands at all. My ping is not too bad. But I think... Just there we go, okay. Yeah, the tail on this thing is very wobbly. That's kind of funny. That's the thing that messed up my aim there. And that is a bomber, I believe. Yeah, that definitely looks like a bomber. That's definitely a bomber, and they are diving. Yeah, it's a bomber. Okay, they did take some hits. Let's use the rockets. Let's use the rockets. There we go. But I did take some engine damage, and yeah, my engine is gone. Well, it was fun while it lasted, that's for sure. My engine has been blown up. It's still working, it's just... Yeah, it's falling down. Yep. Yep, that engine is no longer usable. Let me see if I can at least drop some bombs on something. Yeah, I think I can get at least 2 kills. One bomb, second bomb. And yep, I'm falling. Yeah, the engine is gone. Yep. Yep, and it crashed. Oh well. Actually, I technically landed, I guess. I also how the propellers are still intact. With a propeller in the ground. Isn't that just lovely? Well, that was funny. At least I landed in one piece. That was some next level landing there. Okay, let's go and use the... We are probably going to lose the match, that's for sure. I don't have high hopes for this match. Look at that bomber. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get to the bomber in time, that's for sure. 3 bombers, no wonder we're losing. And where are our bombers? Oh, we don't have any. Yeah. Classic. I also love how always... This is like how how battles usually end for me. Enemy has all bombers, while my team has none. My team all fighters, and none of them have bombs to destroy the ground targets or the base. And I'm usually stuck fighting air targets as well. But it's kind of funny when the whole enemy team is bombers, you can't catch them, since they are flying at a much higher altitude than your fighters. I mean, I can technically spend like, I don't know, 5 minutes climbing, but by the time I climb they will already be bombing the base, so yeah. I am better off flying and shooting other fighters. And I am about to break 800 km per hour. Well, okay, close to 170 km per hour. Okay. Still fairly fast for a propeller aircraft. Alright then, well, that was terrible. That was a terrible approach. And of course, you know what also I love how when I'm flying that thing with the rear machine gunner, right? My machine gunner doesn't do any damage. But when I'm being shot by it, when I'm trying to, yeah, that's always what happens. When I'm relying on the rear machine gunner, they never do their work. But the machine gunner on the enemy always does a direct hit. Anyway, that was the phase 2 of the closed beta test for the air mode. It's been pretty fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to see what the third phase will bring. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.